Howdy everyone, Meg's here from Watch Your Language. It's been a hot minute since I've filmed a yin class, and I've been so blessed and I'm so grateful to be right here back where I used to work at Alicia Wellness Retreat in the Hunter Valley, and it could not have come at a better time. I've had a really emotional week. Been some big stuff that's gone down, which is not bad, it's not good, it just is. And what we need to do when we feel emotion, of course, is let ourselves feel it and experience it. No emotion, whether it be a high one or a low one, is to be clung to or to be suppressed. It gets stuck in our body if we do that. Now, whilst I'm here at Alicia, I'm actually delivering some talks on the heart space. And how we can clear out the blockages that get stuck in our body. They're called impressions, they're called samskaras, and it's energy that we hold on to and it gets stuck in our bodies, and therefore we find we lack energy, we find we lose our luster and vibrancy for life, and we start to get really tired in our physical selves. But this is because our energy centers that run through our chakra system are holding on to these moments right from the past that we have decided to hold on to or to suppress down because we didn't allow ourselves to feel the emotion at the time. So many of us, myself included, for so many years, I chose to live in my head rather than experience the emotion that I was feeling in my heart. Now, I have a full course on this starting on February 14. It is online, it will be a Facebook platform, a private group of course. It runs for 14 days, which is 4 days on, so Monday to Thursday, with 3 days off, and then the second week is exactly the same. So if you feel you are ready to free your flow and have more energy and vitality and actually be able to think clearly, to make good decisions and to shift your self-talk, then jump on the link that I'll put below in the comments. But this particular yin yoga practice is one for the spine. So when I feel emotions and I experience them, right, our sacral chakra is our emotional center, right? So I immediately start to feel tight in my lower back, my lumbar region. So this practice is dedicated to giving love back to my spine and to my hips and to that sacral chakra region, right? That is our emotional center. For me, it's about honoring all of the feelings that I've experienced this week and never ever pushing them away, but allowing them to just be and to honor them, to respect them, and to never ever suppress or to cling to. So you'll need a block and you'll need a bolster. This first shape that we are going to come into is just a beautiful opportunity just to land. So we're going to take a child's pose. Now, it's up to you if you want to rest your forehead on the bolster for your child's pose, or slide it between the knees like this and take a restorative version. I'm going to come down to the floor for this one today. So knees coming as wide as they can, sinking your hips back over your heels and allowing yourself just to drop in. Through this practice today, we're going to be practicing for about half an hour, 25 minutes. I'm just going to set a little affirmation for each shape, right? I'm not going to talk much through it, but I will state with you an affirmation, right, that you can just repeat in your mind when we come into the shape. So like any yin yoga practice, this is a beautiful, soft, feminine practice. It's an opportunity to give back to the connective tissue and fascia. The yin is the softness, it is the yielding, and it is the surrender. So I just invite you to sit back, to let go and let God. Breathe in and breathe out. Your affirmation for this shape is I choose to be curious, not critical, about what unfolds in my body. I choose to be curious, not critical, about what unfolds in my body. Start to deepen your breath and breathe into the base of the spine, into every single vertebrae. Just simply noticing space. We're here for one more minute. Take a breath in and big exhale out. From your child's pose, however you get there, we're going to slide ourselves down onto our bellies. Now this is where you may want a bolster, but we're going to come into Sphinx Pose or Baby Seal. Now if you are coming into traditional Sphinx Pose, keep the feet a little bit apart so there's space in the sacrum and the low back. The elbow is underneath the shoulder joint and you'll gently press up into your Sphinx Pose. However, this is one of my favourite shapes, so I'll share it with you. It's Baby Seal, where the bolster just pops up underneath the chest. The hands have gone out nearly about 45 degrees. And from this position, I'm going to roll my shoulders up, back and down. Press the pubic bone gently down and try to relax the space between the shoulders and the ears. I'm going to stay in this position and you choose whichever one suits you. There'll be an opportunity to come up into full seal at the end. And again, we're going to be here for close to another 3 minutes. Again, I invite you to soften down your eyes and your affirmation for this pose. Whatever unfolds in front of me, I don't make it personal. Whatever unfolds in front of me, I don't make it personal. I want you to always remember that whatever happens in our environment, right, it's out of our control. Right? Whatever someone says, whatever unfolds in front of you in the moment that might be uncomfortable, that might be unpleasant, it might be, one of the lower notes of one of the moments in our day, but it has nothing to do with you unless we choose to take it on board. So I want to remind you that you always have a choice. You always have a choice to let that moment move through you, to not cling and to not resist. And when you allow yourself to do that by experiencing the moment, whether it be a joyous moment or whether it not so much, you don't hold on and it doesn't get stored in your bodies. And this is how we have an opportunity to experience all of the amazing moments in our day without getting lost in the moment that happened 2 hours ago or 4 days ago. What's done is done. Choose to live in the now. Know that it's not personal. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften into this shape. the opportunity if you would like to come up into full seal. If that suits your spine today, then feel free to come into this position. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. If not, stay in Sphinx or where we just were. We are never ever after pain. We should feel compression. But if there is sharpness or it's too far or you're getting angry, then that's a good sign that you have gone too far. Guys, let's experience 1 more full breath in. As you exhale, lower yourself down to the mat. We'll take a rebound here. We're going to take a really nice spinal rebound here. So we're going to turn our cheek so the right cheek is on the ground and slide the left leg out to the left and just pause. Breath in. Breath out. Mindfully sliding that leg back in. Let's turn the head to the other direction. Sliding the knee out. Take 3 deep breaths here. Come back to center, and we're going to roll to our side to come up. We're going to find our way into a forward fold. Now, if you need to, you can always do your forward fold straddle on the wall, but I'm going to do this seated. Now, of course, you can use a bolster for this shape. And you can also sit on a towel or a blanket. So you want to come or bring the legs to a straddle position. The bolster can go in front, and you can either hug the bolster and then start to fold forward, or the bolster sits in front of you, and we just want to kind of relax into this. So soften your hands, and then just really mindfully letting yourself put your spine in flexion. So I'm rounding my spine here. I'm not forcing myself forward. This is the opposite to a yang practice. And then just let yourself surrender. I give myself permission to let go of the practice of perfection. I give myself permission to let go of the practice of perfection. In a world where we're constantly taught that striving and people-pleasing and perfection is what we need to move forward in the world, it can sometimes be really hard to come back to our own authenticity and the realness of who we are. But if we strip back the layers and we come back to our true heart space, we realize that none of that matters. We realize that we already have all we need. We don't need anything external. Love and compassion and kindness is our natural state. It's not about not enjoying the external things 100%, but it is the attachment to them that keeps us stuck. It is the attachment to a body we used to have. It is the attachment to a partner we used to date. It is the attachment to a house we used to own, or a job we had, or a career we had, or how we were 10 years earlier. It is that attachment that keeps us stuck and back in the moments that have passed. And that's where we find we get blockages in our energy flow. If we're still attached to what we had or what we wish we had years ago, we find we're missing out on this beautiful moment called now. So I invite you to just simply let go. To trust the process and know that everything that you need is already within you. We just have to go inside. We've got 1 more minute here, everyone. Take a big breath in and a breath out. Ridiculously slowly pull your belly button to your backbone. Keep the chin tucked in. And slowly just start to come up to seated. We're going to do a little bit of hip mobility before we come into a twist. You should be feeling pretty chilled out. Hopefully you're feeling like I do here. Let's just curl the legs in, bending one knee and the other. Coming to this 90-90 position, and we're just gonna lean back. Keep the feet hip distance apart and just swivel the legs. Now, you can stay with the hands behind, or if you wanna play a little bit with some balance, you can take the hands off and just move through in your own time, super slow. Really nice one for internal and external rotation of the hip. Really beautiful, I love in yin, just doing some movement to move chi, prana or shakti, energy around the body. Whatever you want to call it, in yin we call it chi. It's kind of the best way to describe it, I guess, is the space between the yin and the yang, the equilibrium, the space where we find equanimity, right? It's the duality. We cannot have the fast without the slow. We cannot feel the high emotions without the low ones. And so why is it that we think it's such a bad thing to experience low emotions? Everything that emanates from the heart is here to be felt, to be experienced, and to be heard in the moment. Never ever suppressed or clung to. That's exactly how things get stuck. Let's make our way down, and we're going to find our way into a twist. Now I'm going to use my bolster for this one today. So I'm going to land on my left hip, and the bolster is on the side of my left hip. I'm going to pop my leg over the bolster. If the hamstrings are tight, bring the bolster down a little bit. This left arm is out to the side, and that right arm is going to peel up and over. And I'm going to shine my heart space to the ceiling, resting the right scapula on the ground and relaxing through the trapezius and the upper neck muscles as well. So as we land into this shape, I want you to feel your heart space just open, to feel your whole body let go. and to notice a deep sense of surrender. Your affirmation for this pose: I turn my fear into faith. I turn my fear into faith. Taking another 5 beautiful long breaths here. So fully in and fully out, and 4 more just like that with that affirmation. Alright guys, 1 more deep breath in. And exhale. Slowly come back through center. Just pause for a moment, maybe with the knees bent, that's up to you, completely your choice. You might even catch your knees with your hands and do some little circles here. I'm going to leave that in your court. If you do circles, make sure you go back the other way. Eventually sliding the bolster over to the other hip. Turning on your right leg goes over. Maybe you extend it to your degree depending on how tight your hammies are. And peel the left arm and shoulder and scapula down, almost like it's melting on the ground here. So really feel a sense of heaviness through the infraspinatus, the subscap, into the left trapezius, and of course the neck. And just let go. Now I use the word God, universe, source, divine, all interchangeably. We are all one and we are all the same, and God and the universe is us and we are God. So this last affirmation is one that helps me so much whenever I find things a struggle, or I find I'm trying to be faced with a situation that I don't know the solution. And I'm learning more and more that it is not up to me to figure out. So whenever I find myself in moments that are in the past or into the future, the affirmation I've been saying quite frequently is I let go and I let God. Again, I let go and I let God. Breathe in. Breathe out and just relax into that. I want you to know and to trust that the universe will sort it out for you. We do not need to know the how. We absolutely do not. So surrender it up, yield, and trust the process. Five more beautiful breaths here. One more full breath in. And an exhale. Gently just making your way to Shavasana. For this one, we're going to slide that bolster underneath the knees. And just let the feet flop open, let the shoulders melt away from the ears. Palms face up. Just allow, if you've got a hair elastic here, maybe you take it out. Allow yourself to fully let go. You are now here. So breathe in a sense of expansion to love, to kindness, and to an acceptance of whatever is going on right now is perfectly okay. Don't try to fix it, don't try to change it, but give yourself permission to be with those emotions. Allow yourself to feel them, to nurture them, to honor them, to heal them. Let go. Take a deeper breath in. And an open mouth exhale. I invite you to just move your body. I invite you as you do this to thank every single part, your fingers, your toes, your digestive system, your organs, your skin, your bones, your muscles. Put your hands over your face. Take a moment to just feel your face, the skin on your face. Notice your eyes, your eyebrows, your eyelashes. Notice the mouth, the place where we speak. Come back to our truth. Take a moment, rest your hands on your heart. Breathe in. Breathe out, honoring this space always. Gently kick your bolster out from underneath you. Rolling to your side, pause for a moment, of course in gratitude. So always taking that time for gratitude and appreciation. You have 2 feet and a heartbeat. You got to experience today. No matter what today was, at least we were able to be there right in it, to not push it away, to not suppress it, to not cling to any of it, but to say, you know what, I got to have today. And that's all we need to do to stay present. Slowly come up to seated, however that is for you. Maybe you sit on a bolster. Maybe it's just on your knees, it doesn't matter. Oh. Let's take a moment here and pause. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth exhale. This quote is from Michael Singer. What ends up in our mind as a thought stems from how we feel about ourselves in our heart. In the Free or Flow course, we're going to dive right into that. To understand that when we have shitty self-talk and poor dialogue in our head and in our minds, that it is actually stemming from how we feel deep in our hearts. There's usually an emotion that is attached to that. So if we can look at changing the emotion, we can start to change our dialogue to ourselves. Remember, as always, guys, to watch your language. Bring your hands to your heart space, honoring the space of you, your identity, and your authenticity. The thumbs to your mouth as you pay attention to the words you speak, for they become the house you live in. And the thumbs to the third eye as you take a moment to honor filling your cup first. For it is only when we fill our cup that we are able to fill others. Namaste. Wow, I actually really went somewhere in that Shavasana just then. I just got completely taken away. Really goosebumpy kind of stuff just then. It is really beautiful when you open up and you allow love and compassion. I can't tell you just how amazing it feels, and of course when you practice that, more and more of that starts to come in. I never thought I would be in this space where I felt so much love for myself and for everything around me, to have so much gratitude and appreciation. If you are looking to free your flow and to actually work on the things that we have stuffed down in our past, we've all done it, they're called samskaras, impressions, then the course starts on February 14. Right, it is actually $10 off if you book before the end of January 2022, but other than that, it is only $79, so $69 before the end of Jan, and $79 you'll get all course content. It is over the course of 2 weeks with 3 rest days in between each week as well. Jump on the link below, I'll pop it down on there in the comments. And a huge shout out to Alicia Wellness Retreat in the Hunter Valley, which is where I'm at right now. As I've been here all weekend doing a talk on my book, Watch Your Language, and sharing about the heart and just how powerful it is just to start to get to know our hearts and to listen, to not push away those emotions, but to actually feel them in the moment so that we can have more energy, more vitality, and of course express more love, not just for ourselves, but for others. I'm Meg. I hope you enjoyed that practice. Let me know how you found that in the comments. Have a beautiful night.